Morning, except it's afternoon. Just got done with Pee Wee football. Dad and BJ run beans. Someone head over and grab a truck. Looks like they're flying through the acres today. I think they're 50 or so in, so hopefully we can make a big chunk disappear. I have to make a move here pretty soon though.
Okay, here's the next day, Friday or Saturday. Ryan's ball game. Me and BJ run beans, getting started here about 11 o'clock. Got the leg harnesses there. We got everything going there. I don't know what was in it or if anything, but we had a load truck fine this morning, so we're at it. There, hardly any do. Dusty, 9%. Means their balance is 8. I'm about a point high, point and a half. Some of them good. They have low spots in this field here, like 47. And get down this on the higher spots, about the same as the others, 30, 35. Just looked at a video last night, looked at some comments. So everybody wondering what that yellow thing is on the corn head. That is a reel for down corn or for fluffy corn. When it gets dry, that stalks will lay right in the center of the head there, and you can put the reel down, and it'll help push that in. So it works pretty good for that. The other day, I used it once. Brian had the other day, said there was fluff. Put the reel down, and it worked good. So that's what that is, and it doesn't go clear across because that head's closed. So they can't, I guess, can't really get a one goes clear across with 40 corn head, but usually you got the trouble with down corns in the middle and on the ends. Well, that head's got the rollers on the ends that help feed it in, so I think it'll get down corn and be okay. I think. Hope we don't have any down corn, but probably will. So eventually, I'm sure we will. So that's what the yellow things are on the corn head. Everybody's wanting to know. The bean head, honey bean head. Wheat head, 50-foot flex, they call it. So far, I really like it. See, it went right over that couple groundhog hole over there. Looked like it went right over the top of it. Okay, I can read seat that. That's much dust. That flex is good. Is it better than McDonald's than what we used to have? Right now, I'm going to say yes. It really flexes for 50 foot. I'm really surprised. I've got some places over there in the other field. It's kind of a high spot from where years ago where they plowed headland, and it's kind of rolling, and it rolled right over there. So it really flexes good. I really like it. It seems to feed good. Down our small beans, it's just like any other head. You got to be moving, help the feed in there. But so far, I really like it. Ask me at the end of the year, and we'll do more about it. More acres on it. So far, so good. It's simple. All pretty well, everything mechanical drive on it, except the wheel drive's got 2 reel motors right out there in the center. And, so far, I really like it. So here's a kind of a low spot here, and see how it did over there. Maybe you can't see it in the camera. It flexes right over it, picks up and down, oscillates the head. No problem there. So far, so good. So, like I say, at the end of the year, we'll evaluate at the end of the year. We'll let everybody know what we think then. So far, so good. I like it right now. Cutter bar is nice, heavy knife. Neighbor's got one. He's had good luck with it, I think. He run last year, bought it last year. I think they like it. The reel, I don't know if you can notice, but it's got 6 bats on it. That's a finger reels. That's the bats. That's where the fingers are at. 6 instead of 5. I believe that's what it is. It's got one more than McDonald does, the regular heads. That helps the feet, I think. And there's a box over here. You can control the down pressure. Is air, let air out, let air in, put air in. It oscillates, tilt, does everything over there, and I can change the height of it right here. So far, like I said, I really like them.
All right, we're going to take the header wagon down there. We have a plan, even if it's wrong.
Right out the box.
So we got some humidity again today. Still no chance of rain, but it is humid today. So now it is not only 93 degrees, but it's humid at 93 degrees again. Perfect. Starting to feel like a desert around here, and 90 didn't feel too bad. Yep, they've been getting it. It's crazy that it's September 21st and we're going to be, like, at the end of the day, probably 600 acres into harvest already. It doesn't feel possible, but it is. BJ's going to give me a ride to the loaded semi, and we'll get a truck dumped. They are moving along pretty good, and Dad said these beans are running in the 50s, so might actually need some trucks today. Get our moisture sample and see how dry these beans are. They feel pretty dry. That's what they've been running. $7.8. It's the driest I've ever personally seen. I've heard a dryer this year, but I haven't seen it. 58 test weight though. This corn right here, this is some of the stuff we usually do later in the year, but it looks to be pretty dry as well, so I don't know when we will harvest it, but it will not be as late as normal, I bet. See if we can sneak up on Bubby and scare him. He must have seen us. Thought we were going to catch you sleeping. Just about ready to move, and that'll be 80 acres for today. And it's only 3:45. So now it looks like he does have the sample really clean, so that's good. I'll be honest, yesterday when I ran the combine, I was kind of worried, but it appears to be extremely clean sample now. I noticed dumping that truck a little bit ago, there wasn't much fines in it. Whenever I see it piling up in the combine, it looks pretty clean, so these are all good things. Downwind side, come over here. For some reason, we've got a lot of chaff over here, which kind of is alarming. I think it's fuel splashing around that fuel cap. It would appear Dad forgot something. Like a fuel cap. I just told him that he ain't got a fuel cap. He said, "Why the BJ told me that?" So even though he fueled it up, it's still your fault. So our buddy Bushel Billy, he calls the grain cart the hell catcher, because that's all you catch is hell. And that just proved her point. BJ didn't fuel it up. Still his fault, because he drives a grain cart, and that's part of the job description. He accepts that. Woo, it's hot. The traveling circus is rolling out. Got about a 3-mile move, so not far, but we can't get there with the head on. Now, almost every time that we make a move like this, someone will ask, well, why don't you just pull the head with the combine? I don't have a great answer. No, we've never done it. I've never seen anyone do it in this area. It's just not as prevalent as it is in other areas. Maybe it'd work great. I don't know. We've never done it. We've always had a pickup. Now, it does kind of look like there's a chance of rain over there. Don't worry. We won't get rained out. We're gonna pull the old hook up on the side of the road trick. Dad's backing into the driveway. I'm coming up with the head. He will hook up, harvest off a spot, and I will park this head. You guys wanted to hear the chopper, I'm sorry, I'm not that dedicated.
We got moved to another field. We just did, I think it's 80 acres up there, 85 acres up there. Got that done. Over the hill from where we was at, it was pretty good. It's 46. So toward the bottom, getting better. It was at the bottom, but it was second plateau, I guess. A little better. Now back up there on the gravel again. Not very good. It'll be about the same, probably. Looks like 30, 35. I catch it. There's about 53 acres here, 65, something like that.
I don't know if you can see this dust cloud, but there's the combine. It's not even a mile from here, but we gotta go across that railroad bridge, so not a far commute. I was kind of hoping we were going to continue the trend of finding better beans, but the fact that that truck's not loaded and he's done about, that field's 13 acres. He's probably done 13 acres of this 45, and we're still in the same truck. That's not a good sign. I mean, it should be every 20 acres a truckload if they were decent beans. I guess I'm gonna take the tiller. Dad says he's gonna let the dogs out. If you know, you know. Because there's only about an hour left of this field. I think his dog would probably be okay. Looks like 32, so I guess they're just as bad as the ones right across the railroad. Put some air in the seat. Okay. So Dad's ran a couple hundred acres with this thing already. He's flying through beans. Said, how fast you run? 5.5. Run out of power? No. So that's new for us. We're used to a class 7 machine where horsepower was our limiting factor in beans. Now these beans are terrible, but they are very green stemmed still. We got just enough rain to keep the stems green while the plant was just dead. So, I mean, the gleaner we'd be able to go 4 probably, but flying through these things right now. And once a frost hit, we'll probably be able to go 5, 6. But we're a long ways from frost. He said when you get in the green ones, you might have to slow down because the cutter bar is struggling to cut them because they're just kind of tough. And apparently at 5.5, 6 miles an hour, it doesn't do very well. But I don't know how you're supposed to tell when the green ones are there because it's so dusty, I can't see anything. Give BJ something to do. We'll just go ahead and unload. We've only got 260 bushel in. We could definitely make another round, but he looks bored. I feel bad for him. So we'll just go ahead and unload. Been showing basically no loss. Basically when you got a couple little bars there like that, that's those sensors probably struggling between telling chaff and actual beans. When they're flashing yellow, that's when we're going to get, you know, kind of worried, like we might actually be losing some. I will say one thing, this combine has a remarkable refrigerator. This water is frozen. There's one of those green patches. I don't know how well it showed up on the camera, but there's a lot of green beans in here. Usually those are harder to thresh and it's a little bit harder to clip off. But we're still moving 4 miles an hour through them just fine. We're not really pulling the combine too hard. Really just going to make sure we do a better job with them. Now we're out of them. Hammer down. One thing I'm really liking about the honeybee is it seems to not push over many beans going through the standing crop. Like that snout out there is what I'm talking about. With our Dynaflex, which is AGCO's factory draper for the Fendt and the Gleaner. I don't know if it's called a Dynamax with the Fendt brand, but it's the same header. One says Gleaner on it, one says Fendt. But anyways, with that particular header, the skids on the outside snouts pushed over a lot of beans, and always kind of bugged me because, I mean, you would pick some of them up when you turned around, but not all of them. This thing has a really thin snout, and we're not knocking over a lot of beans. I like that. Especially when you're only yielding 30, 35, you need to get all your beans. The honeybee's really shaving the ground. We're going over some pretty uneven terrain. I was kind of worried that with 50 foot, we would really struggle to shave the ground, and I might have to come at it at a different angle, but I don't see much stubble sticking up. Really happy with it. That was a good test and passed with flying colors so far. Dad's going to drive the combine back over. My pickup truck is parked right where the combine goes, and well, I've got the key fob in my pocket. But it is shortly after 7 o'clock. Combine started around 11:15, 11:30. 8 hours of running roughly, and we've harvested 140 acres. So yesterday I was a little skeptical on how many acres we could do, and it's apparently more than I thought. 600 horsepower is a beautiful thing.